one of those viewers too.
Good evening, everybody. This is Nick, call signs KN6DAL with the 2 Meter Crew Anti-Net. We want to welcome everyone and say thanks for being here tonight. I will be tonight's coordinator, and we just want to give a shout out to all the people that play a role and all of the repeaters and such that are part of this. Big thanks to the W6VVR repeater and the Vaca Valley Radio Club. Also to the FreeStar Network for the use of their repeaters and digital connections, and to the Mad Scientist Amateur Radio Club. Also a big shout out to Mike, WG5EEK, Greg, W5GSW, and Brian, KK6BXP for your continued networking efforts. And we'll take a second to see if there's any emergency or priority traffic. If there is, you can always say break, break with your call sign and we'll clear the air and you can pass your message. Is there any priority or emergency traffic at this time? All right, the 2 Meter Crew is not an actual club. We're just a group of ham radio enthusiasts. We're enjoying and learning all things ham related. There's no dues or fees to be a 2 Meter Crew member. If you're looking for more information, you can find it at our website at 2metercrew.net. You can also join our Discord group. There are links in the YouTube description to join that if you're interested. This is an open net, and everyone's welcome. Please feel free to join in and chime in if you have anything to say. The 2 Meter Crew Anti-Net meets every other Friday at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, which is 3 a.m. UTC. And we are on the W6VVR repeater. You can also access us through Echolink at W6VVR-R. We're also linked up through AllStar nodes 51094, 512342, and 55655. DMR talk groups 3174117 and 3149964 through YSF reflector 50462 and 24033. We also have a TGIF talk group, which is 2133. And the FreeStar network can be accessed through AllStar link 2196. And we are also on the Mad Scientist Amateur Radio Club repeater in San Mateo. And that's all the links that we have tonight. And last but not least, the Anti-Net is also being live streamed at Northwest Ham Shack on YouTube. If you like and subscribe, you'll get notifications when we go live every other week. And we just want to take a second before we take general check-ins and see if there is anybody out there that is a new ham radio operator. If you got your license in the last, say, 30 or 60 days, or anybody who just upgraded their call sign. If that's you, come on in now. All right, nothing being heard. So we're taking any and all check-ins, any general check-ins that want to check into the 2 Meter Crew Anti-Net. Come on in now. Don't everybody come in at one time.
Big pile up right now.
Yeah. Whoa, everybody. Slow down. I can only write so fast.
Last call. It's okay. No kidding.
All right, let's hear from Mike, WG5EEK. How's it going tonight, Mike?
Hey, yeah, this is Mike, WG5EEK. It's going quite well. A lot better than it has been this week. It seemed like everybody in our household got sick this week, either COVID or a stomach bug, but everyone's doing great now, which is nice because it's the weekend and it's time to play radio. No, just kidding. We actually don't have a lot of plans this week, and next weekend we're going to go to a wedding, which is cool. Haven't been to a wedding in a long time, so we got invited to that, and I don't know, I'm probably not going to take a radio to that. That'd probably be frowned upon, although it is going to be like a nice rustic farm wedding where they're having it in a barn, and I believe we're like sitting on haystacks and stuff. So that'd be pretty cool. I think it's nice to have a wedding to where you're not spending too much money on the wedding itself when you have your whole life ahead of you. So I think that's a smart move. So kudos to that couple. But as far as ham radio goes, I'll let it drop here for a second, Nick. Thanks, Nick. Yeah, I don't have a timer, but that seemed to be about a couple minutes. But I am working on something adding to the VVR repeater, and it's going to be if it gets approved, it'll be a dedicated P25 reflector. So then we'll have DMR, YSF, P25, Echolink, and AllStar, and of course, just your normal perfect analog RF signal. So that'll be hopefully approved within a week or so. There's only one person that approves adding those listings to the official published list, and I've submitted a request. But I've got the dashboard built. I've got the reflector up and running. I've tested it. It works. So yeah, just to be cool to get some other digital mode added so people can have more access. But that's pretty much it for me. I'll turn it back over to you, Nick. This is WG5EEK.
Awesome. Thanks for checking in. And it's good to hear that your family is on the recovering end of that, because it's I totally know where you're coming from. Because when one person gets sick in our house, the whole house gets sick, and it's just the way it is. And I've heard stories of people like trying to like isolate their kids or isolate themselves, and like it just never works. If you're in the same house, everybody's getting sick no matter what. So you might as well just roll with it and just take care of them the best they can. So thanks for checking in, man. I appreciate it. This is Nick, CAN6 DAL with the 2-meter crew anti-net, and we are looking for any and all check-ins. Anybody that wants to check in, come on in now.
I think you guys timed out VVR. It went away about the last 10 seconds of Mike's transmission, and Nick didn't even come in at all.
What's the frequency of the VVR again? The receive frequency?
14547.
14547. Thank you.
I'll try it one more time. All right, this is Nick, CAN6 DAL, looking for any and all check-ins to the 2-meter crew anti-net. Anybody that wants to check in, come on in now.
All right, I'm monitoring it.
I
I'm
have
monitoring like 5 different links right now.
I have my remote up. That's why I was able to hear it across the room.
Well, you're the lucky next contestant, Frank. KG6NLW, how's it going tonight?
Oh, KG6NLW. Yeah, I'm doing good. Well, I'll hold off on putting the last piece on here. I have something I just put together earlier. I showed it to Mike. Let's bring it up on screen here. It's a Pi-Star. It's the 3B Plus, I think it is. I just put it together. Don't even have a SD card for it. Well, I have an SD card for it. I just don't have anything on the SD card yet. And I noticed the fan was loose, so I just took it apart while I was sitting here and putting the last nut on the screw now to get it back together. Other than that, nothing much going on. Working on editing some photos that I was lucky enough to take last Saturday, and that's about it. KN6DAL, KG6NLW.
Well, that's awesome. So you got that all programmed and up and running and everything?
No, I need to. I have the SD card. I need to figure out what I want to put on it, though, and go from there. I was talking to Mike about it before the show, see what I might put on it.
Sweet. That'll be fun to see how it turns out. That's awesome. Thanks for checking in, Frank. We appreciate it. This is Nick, CAN6DAL with the 2-meter crew anti-net. We're looking for any and all check-ins. Anybody that wants to check in, come on in now. All right, Connor, K7CBL, how goes it? How you doing?
Yeah, it's going. K7CBL. Just been super, super busy lately. You mind if I take it on the RF side?
Yeah, I'll unkey. Go ahead.
All right. Now on the now on the RF side there. Too many radios up. K7CBL sounding better. Yeah, just been super busy, man. We had a network outage all week. AT&T dug up their own fiber again, so we were completely out of network for a significant amount of the week, starting last Saturday in the early AM and resolving last night around 7 or 8 p.m., so found out the redundancy wasn't set up properly, it sounds like. So, and then just throughout all that, we've been doing this heavy training. So that's been 8 hours of my day for the past week. Not a whole lot of ham activities, other than what I kind of shared with you guys prior to the stream or the net. But yeah, just kind of been chugging along and hoping to get some things cleaned up here, get some space made, get everything ready for the new vehicle. Still working on antenna ideas and trying to figure out how I'm going to mount things, where I'm going to mount things, and even maybe some HF mobile. We'll see what happens. So back to net, K7CBL.
Right on. Thanks for checking in, Connor. Yeah, I kind of share the same dilemma. I haven't had a whole lot of time to play radio, but this is Nick, KN6DAL, and I am kind of going into doing this little training class for some people that had asked me to put on something related to just kind of an overview, I guess, or like a light duty. How does radio work? What are some different things that you can do with it, and where do you get started? Sort of an introduction to communication, and so I'm going to be doing that next week. And I'll maybe share at the next Anti-Net how that went and how many people I was able to rope into getting their ham radio license. So we'll see how that goes. But that's all that's been going on in my life. This is Nick, KN6DAL with the 2 Meter Crew Anti-Net, and we are looking for any and all check-ins. Anybody that wants to check in, come on in now.
Oh, jeez, if they roped you in, trouble.
Number 6, Echo Foxtrot Romeo.
That sounds a lot like Bert. How's it going tonight?
Doing good, Nick. I'm actually on Highway 37 again, stuck in traffic, just trying to get home. Then I gotta get gas because they closed the gas station at the Costco in Fairfield, so I gotta go get gas at Vallejo. But other than that, I haven't played too much with radio. Been busy with work and life in general.
Usually when we catch you on a commute, on your commute, Bert, your audio is like in and out depending on where you're at, but you sound really good tonight.
When I'm on this side of the 37, it's a lot better. It probably can get to Vacaville better than if I'm on the other side of the Sonoma Raceway, but it's cool though.
Right on, man. Thanks for checking in with us. And if you get home at a somewhat reasonable time, we'll probably be hanging out here trying to solve the world's problems together. So you're always welcome to join in, buddy. It's good to hear from you. This is Nick, KN6DAL with the 2 Meter Crew Anti-Net, looking for any and all check-ins. Anybody that wants to check in, come on in now. All right, we got Dan here in the chat, N6ETR. How's it going tonight, buddy?
Good evening, Nick and the group. This is Dan, November 6th, Echo Tango Romeo. I'm doing all right. I've been working on a few projects around the house, especially because I had a week of staycation last week, which was real nice. A couple projects that I'm working on is, one is I'm actually taking old oil-burning railroad lanterns and converting them to landscaping voltage, 12-volt DC, using an E12 bulb socket for patio lighting, because I thought it'd be unique and cooler than buying something off of Amazon. Aside from that, actual ham radio stuff, the last Antinet, I was working on some TLC projects for a Yaesu FT101EE. I actually buttoned that up and decided to throw it on the air and had a short conversation on 7205 using it, 100 watts out on the factory tubes, which is pretty cool. However, I was also reported to be sounding like a squirrel, so there's a couple of alignment issues that I have to sort out with that radio. And I'm going to drop real quick here. I went to proceed with the alignment on the radio and ran into two problems. The first is my signal generator from 1954 started to fail me, so that's on the bench in pieces right now, ready for a rebuild. And the second issue is that the adjustable capacitor trimmers from my second transmitter mixer into the driver tube, I went to adjust them and they broke. So I had to order those off Janeco and replace those, and that's where we're at. They're replaced, but I haven't gotten around to powering up the radio and finishing the alignment yet because side work kicked up, and that's just kind of how life goes. But otherwise, happy and healthy, and hopefully I'll get back to that Yaesu soon enough. Back to you, Nick. This is Dan, N6CTR.
You always have the most captivating stories of what has gone on in between every Antinet, and I absolutely love it, man. I appreciate you checking in, and good luck on getting that thing back on the air. You know, Connor, Mike, and myself, right before the Antinet, were messing around on HF. Connor was showing us some different things that he was doing in his shack, and we decided just to give it a try. Found a open frequency on I think we were at I'm still on it 7.2.253, and I got on and I heard Connor get on, and then Mike came on and we were like, wow, Mike's making it all the way over here, and so we were all able to have a little QSO on HF right before the Antinet started. So that was kind of cool. And if check-ins stay slow, we might just go back to that and get back on HF and see how we do. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. But thanks for checking in with us, Dan. We appreciate it. This is Nick, KN6DAL with the 2 Meter Crew Antinet. We are looking for any and all check-ins. Any check-ins? Come on in now.
Shall I just leave the 40-meter
W1 FRD.
W1 FRD. Fred, how are you doing? I haven't talked to you in quite a while.
Radio on. I'm sitting here in the Taco Bell drive-thru with my daughter, and heard you guys. I go, oh man, the Antinet. I keep forgetting about it. No, I'm doing good and trying to, keep interested in ham radio. Lately, been playing with my DigiPi project. I kind of share that on my Instagram, the W1FRD Radio Instagram. Anyways, been playing with my my quadcopters and such.
Well, it's good to hear that you're happy and healthy and getting ready for a little dinner at the drive-thru in Taco Bell. Tell me a little bit about the quadcopters. Are you building them, or are you just buying and flying?
I build them, and I just have not been flying them and getting out there flying them. I flew one out at the school and was, getting it low into this railing and hit the railing with the camera, broke the camera. But anyways, I'm trying to fly more so I get better at flying. And I've been flying up high, but I'm gonna fly down low. It looks more impressive. Anyways, so this DigiPi project runs on a Pi, and it lets you do all the digital modes. You look at it through like a tablet or your phone to control it. So you don't need a computer. So my wanted to get involved with that and make one is my 817 up on a peak and work some digital modes with just a tablet and this little tiny Pi Zero device.
Yeah, that sounds like fun. I've kind of played around a little bit with that. I know Mike has done a little bit with different digital types of stuff when it comes to. Have you put together a DigiPi, Mike? No, not yet. Yeah. Well, you're gonna have to get it all set up, Fred, and tell us how it works, because we're always interested in fun new things. But that's awesome, man. Good to hear from you. I'm glad everything's going good. I'll pass it back to you for your final.
Hi, Nick. It's good to hear you, and it's good to hear that you and Mike and Connor all worked on 40 meters. I might have to turn the radio on and see if I can hear you guys one evening here. Anyways, yeah, it's good to hear you still going with the anti-net, and I'm glad I caught you guys. W1FRD.
All right, this is Nick, KN60AL. We're looking for any and all check-ins. Anybody that wants to check in, come on in now. All right, nothing being heard. We are going to take one last call out for check-ins. We'll take a final call out, and then we will move over to just hanging out in the Zoom chat. And if you're interested in joining the Zoom chat, you got to join Discord first, and then we can get you a link. But we'll take final calls for any check-ins, any RF check-ins. Come on in now.
Last call, and this is where you get that 40-person pile-up, right?
Sometimes. It's happened. It's gone on for hours before.
Almost.
Nope. All right, nothing being heard. Thanks, everybody, for all of the check-ins and coming out tonight. Again, we will be here in 2 weeks on Friday. Look forward to seeing everybody out there. I'll say 7-3, and we'll turn all the radios back to, or in repeaters, back to normal operation. We'll still be hanging out here for a little bit. We might play a little bit of HF radio and see what kind of trouble we can get into. So for tonight, we'll say 7-3, and thank you all very much.
070 Papa Romeo.
Huh?
You heard that correctly. Kilo 7 Sierra Papa Romeo.
K7 SPR.
Good evening, one and all. Just wanted to check in with the club call sign tonight. The Southern Pacific Amateur Radio, Southern Pacific Railroad Amateur Radio Club call.
All right, you get the last. Why did you wait until like 6 last calls before you did that?
Everyone should check it out. Kilo 7 Sierra Papa Romeo.com. K7SPR.com.
Yeah, I was gonna say, why don't you plug your net that you're hosting there, Frank? Like, just go ahead and plug it.
Long story for after YouTube's down.
Okay.
What is I'm disconnecting everything right now, but I've got Connor, you're in under you've got K7 CBL RF UHF. What is that?
Yeah, bro. That's this, bro.
I can't see this because your video's off.
Did you hear that? Did that come through?
I heard the whistle. I just took off. I just disconnected VVR, but
Oh, good deal, good deal. Yeah. So that's the UHF node that Mike and I nearly killed ourselves over because it was being straight stupid. what was wrong with it? Oh yeah, the whole I made the mistake of building it in the rack and then hitting up Mike and going, "Yo, can we get this working?" And that was the worst idea I've ever had, because there was numerous occasions where I completely had to slide the rack shelf out and change something with like the wiring. So
Right.
yeah, I'm not gonna make that stupid mistake again. That was really, really stupid.
Yeah.
It happens.
But yeah, so that's the UHF local node. That's 5 watts on whatever frequency it's on. I don't even remember, but it's 5 watts out from the if that out from the house, and that's because every time I get on VHF, it's like I don't have good spacing is my problem with my antennas, and I thought that the old duplexer for the club repeater was sitting at one of the members' houses, and I went to go get it, and he goes, "No, I don't have it." And I was like, "What do you mean you don't have it?" Because I really could just put the duplexer there and not worry about, like, you know, blowing up the front end on the radio. And he was like, "I don't have it." So I did some hunting. I found out that somebody repurposed it for another repeater without like saying anything to any of the club members. So he just like took the duplexer and other equipment, such as like the 100-watt PA that was on the repeater,
Yeah.
and just went and put it on another repeater. And yeah, so like I was ready to use that gear and it was gone. So yeah, I just put the UHF node up because I also didn't want to tie up the repeater for, you know, like just to monitor something or whatever, get on the VVR. I can get into the VVR reliably with my new antenna. So part of that whole project I sent Nick with the coax entry panel, that was because I was redoing the coax I was replacing an antenna, which was the first thing. I'm never buying a diamond dual band antenna again. So thank you for the notation of flex. Saw that.
I want to
But,
know. I want to know what that is. I'm waiting for you to
What?
shut up so I can ask you.
So hold on. I'll just run through coax entry panel. Everything goes through a polyphaser. Everything now is pretty much moved over to LMR 400 feed line, and then because LMR 400 Ultraflex, because LMR 400, and then I replaced the diamond antenna with a Comet GP15 right up soon on my website. TM, don't know when that's going to happen, but great UHF, VHF, and 6-meter antenna all in one. Great performance. So what was your question, Nick?
My question is, what are these call signs? What is the VK5 TRM?
So, okay, so these are spots, right? So
Okay.
these are, you can see I'm hovering over it right now. So somebody
Yeah.
has spotted that person there. And what kind of sucks is there's not really any good spotting entity on the West Coast.
Okay.
So, like, a lot of these are from this W1AWs there.
Right.
But there's a lot of, like, RU3KO, VK5TRM people I'm obviously not going to hear. Not even, like, if I log into my buddy's Flex, who's, like, you got, you know, better setup than I do, I'm not going to hear those people. And it kind of sucks because if there was and I'm getting called another repeater, whatever. It kind of sucks because it's not really accurately reflecting who I can hear with my receiver. It's some, you know, badass DX setup in Canada. So those are the spots. I thought you were asking what this big old beacon was, if you couldn't figure it out by now. These lines, the horizontal lines.
Well,
You know what that is, Nick?
I'm pretty
Every
sure
15
that.
seconds.
Yeah. No, I'm pretty sure that's digital.
FT8.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
FT8. So you can see how zoomed in I am, right? We're looking at we're looking at 2900 on the bandpass.
Yeah.
So roughly it fits in there. and you can see there's like tons of people that don't know how to FT8, so they're like all on top of each other on one frequency. But yeah, so that's FT8. We can really zoom in on this here and
Lord.
really see it. And it's actually kind of been funny lately on 40 meters. There's somebody that jams 40 meter FT8. And it's like, this is not real ham radio. Get a life. Pick up a microphone. Blah 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 blah. And it's actually really funny to listen to that stuff. Although, yeah, bad practice. I'm not endorsing it, but it is quite hysterical.
Just a sad
And it's
ham.
because all these
that's
people
it
that
is.
run zombie FT8. Yeah, well, it's all the people like that don't like the zombie hams that like run FT8 and it's
Here's
not real
the thing.
ham radio, whatever.
I have all the capability to do FT8. I've tried it. I've played with it. It's not fun. It's just not like my cup of tea, right? Like I suppose if I had a group of people that wanted to do it, but they've got if people like it, let them do it. What's the problem? Like, what's the big deal?
Exactly. If that's what people like to do, that's what people like to do.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I think. And I don't like FT. Like, if I'm sitting here, like on the net, like I am right now, and I'm talking about the radio, I'm watching the stream, just to make sure, we don't go down or something like that. And I've got all this. I'm not gonna do it. But if I'm just sitting watching YouTube in the middle of the night, why not, right? So like then I just do it, just because like why not? And me, I'm not like a contester. I'm not one of those guys going for awards or anything like that. So
Heck, I live stream. I watch live streams. I live stream when I occasionally do, and I play FT8 at the same time. A lot of people do it. Then there's Mike, the special Mike up over here. He doesn't even know his computer's doing it. I've made like 3 contacts with him, and I've gone, oh, hey, I have another contact on FT8. He's like, oh, yeah, the computer did that.
yeah, it's just like, I don't pay too much attention to it. But
Yeah.
the world of HF is definitely fun to, while we're sitting here on the stream, I've just got 40 meters up right now because, there's some, it's popping a little bit. 40 CW is popping off, but I actually really enjoy using the Flex for just shortwave listening, span out. Here we are at my max span, and then going and finding something to listen to. Now, yeah, we're tuned on 40 right now, so it's not going to be great. But if I put the tuner in bypass like that, and I bring
who's on ESSB right now? I saw a nice signal. No, I saw a nice signal there when you were zoomed in.
On the band?
Yeah, on the ESSB channel. You don't see that just shy of 7.2.
Oh. No, I guess I don't. Oh, there's somebody there. Someone's messing around. Oh, they're off frequency. Oh no, it's someone bleeding.
That waterfall is awesome. That's so cool looking.
But regardless,
you can almost read the CW. It's so clear.
Right.
Oh yeah, so that's actually something that's kind of funny. You can like basically read CW if you bring your levels down like that. It might not be as visible on the stream, but yeah, you could if you wanted to, like literally just, if I can move there, let's see. Yeah, so you basically can read CW if you can can read it, and you can slow this down. And I've actually done that, no joke. When I get on CW, like I actually tend to kind of look up because I can read it out, which is kind of cool in my opinion. I don't know, but I also send like typically like, I don't know, 10 to 13 words a minute when I'm like on there, and even then it's like sometimes I'm like, did I send the right character? And it's kind of funny because you can scroll back. You zoom in
And
enough.
you look, yeah, and you're like,
Like,
nope,
you know,
I
let's
didn't.
zoom in on this guy. You're like, oh damn, I sent an N instead of a like something else. But yeah, it is pretty cool. Of course, you know, when they stop transmitting, but
Of course.
yeah, you almost could, if you could read FT8, you could do that. You know, you could visibly read FT8. So, but no, it's I really like this radio. Even just for shortwave listening, you can see where I'm tuned up. But like, if you want to go listen to the shortwave bands, you know, you totally can go do that, and then you can just use your tuner. Like, I have an auto tuner, but I can manually tune stations, right? So it's there's a lot of cool stuff that you can do with an SDR radio. And what's crazy to think, and most people, you know, don't really realize this, but you can buy a Hermes for $500, a Hermes Light 2. It's 5 watts, runs on Thetis, so it's just like an Anon, and you get that same type of capability. I'm not a huge Hermes ambassador because I really haven't played with one all that much yet, but they are cool little radios. That's for sure. I've got mine set up here. I'm just not using it at the moment.
You know who's
But-
a huge Hermes
Yeah, if
ambassador?
Who?
Don N5SKT. He's been touting the Hermes line for a couple years now.
Yeah, no, they're cool. They're cool radios. I got one, and you know, like I said, I haven't really used my Hermes.
But they're only 5 watts, right?
Just because I've got the right. So that's kind of the thing with them. So you're getting a 5 watt radio, which then you're like, I could get like a 100 watt ICOM, right? But if you think about it, you can get this radio for $400. It's your entry level SDR radio, and then if you can go portable with it, right? You just need to connect Ethernet to your computer. You can buy amplifiers. You know, there's tons of amplifiers out there that'll take, you know, a 5 watt drive and make that 100 watts out. You know, either monoband or multi-band amps. And then if you want, you can use that amplifier to excite another amplifier. So that's what a lot of guys I know are doing. They're using some little QRP amp that'll take a 5 watt carrier, or they'll take 5 watts, make it to 50, and then they'll drive their kilowatt amp with that, and then they'll run the Hermes. Not very efficient, of course, but
Yeah, that's probably, you gotta hope that's a clean signal going into that.
Oh,
yeah, well, that's the cool thing about the
Yeah.
Hermes. It's got pure signal. So you're a brick wall. Of course, you know, the one person to talk about this he's not around tonight, but John, KN6TYF, I mean, if you have an SDR or you look on KFS or whatever, you look at this guy talking, I mean, he's a brick wall to wall, 5 kilohertz wide, no splatter, running full tilt on his amp. And yeah, and no splatter whatsoever. And that's not because he's got it dialed in. He's got it dialed in, but even if he's using pure signal, you know, and that just kind of takes care of that. So the days of having, you know, I mean, if you tune your amp wrong, you're going to be all splattery and crap. Oh, look, my neighbor's turned something on.
Where do you buy them?
MakerFab. That's where I got, or is that where I got mine? MakerFab. Is it MakerFab? No, I think that's where I got my other thing.
The Hermes Light 2?
yeah.
Yeah, the Hermes Light 2. Where's it at?
It's $269.
MakerFabs. So that's where there's an asterisk on it, right? So you have to get the Hermes. You got to get the Hermes, obviously. That's the radio. But you also have to get the N2 ADR. It's a $50 module. If you scroll down on the product page here, I'll actually pull it up on screen because I'm screen sharing here.
N2 ADR.
So yeah, you have your $269 radio, and when you scroll down on the page, you see these 2 options. Now, I recommend the enclosure since it's $15. It works, and we'll asterisk on that as well. But you got to get the filter board. You have to. You can't not get the filter board and the enclosure. Now, the enclosure is nice, but it requires you to do a little sanding. because of where, and I don't know, there's some videos, if you want to look this up, you can. This shim right here, you have to line it up and then drill a hole. And so there is a build process to it, and you have to shave off some of the thing and put thermal compound on there. But when you build this radio all around, like $300-400, you build this radio, you have this little kick-ass 5-watt radio, and it's basically a baby Anon, and it's a great radio. I mean, again, I only can say it's great. I've only played with it minimally. I haven't actually got mine going, but yeah, if you want to buy a Hermes, Maker Fabs is the way to go. You're going to need these 3 items. Total shipped to my door, I think it was like $350 or something. And if you are interested, you need to buy one now, because we have no clue when these chips are going to be gone and then the Hermes is dead, right? Because that's kind of the backbone of the Hermes, is the fact that it's using basically recycled home internet modem chips as its processor. Well, processor, quotations. And the only requirement really on the computer side is something that's not from like the early 2000s. Like my laptop, I can run the Thetis program, no problem. But it does take a little bit of compute power to run the program. So the Flex, for example, is a radio attached to a server. This and the Anon are a radio. So your computer is doing everything. Compared to the Flex, you're just running a UI that controls the radio. So you do have to have something that I would say minimum 16 gigs of RAM, 32 best, a good quad core, and solid state storage, and then direct attach over Ethernet or through a switch of some type. Don't try to run over Wi-Fi or anything like that, because I'm not sure how well that's going to work. Nor if you can do that, so don't quote me.
Some of them you can, but with the Ethernet switch, make sure you're behind a proper router. There was a guy, other Andy, AA0ZM or something like that. He had an issue where his network was all messed up, and it took a good 45 minutes just to figure out what was wrong with his network. It was one of those setups where the public address was also his regular IP address.
Oh, yeah, so he's just directly connected to his modem.
Right. And then,
so his radio is available to the public internet, yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't 192, it wasn't 10, it was direct IP, and I'm like, oh, this was on a Nuggets episode, and we were all sitting there going, oh no. Because all the screen sharing info was going out.
But, you know, most of the people that are going to buy these have, you know, general computer experience, so, but they are a pain in the ass to set up, so, that's just,
I just wish it had more power.
Very cool radio.
Is the big problem for me.
Yeah, you know what I wish? I wish it had 10 watts. I wish it was 10 watts. If it was 10 watts, it would be perfect. And there is certainly
then you could
amplifiers,
drive an amp.
RF2KS.
Then you could drive an amp and get 100 watts out of it. You know?
Oh, yeah. So, like example, the RF2KS, great amplifier. It has a high drive and a low drive mode. High drive, you can dump 50 watts into it to get your 2K out. The low drive mode, you can dump like 4 watts into it to get 2K out, right? Not saying you run that much power. I'm just saying for numbers. So it's perfect for something like that, but that's also like a $5,000, $6,000 amplifier. Even, you know, I haven't really played a whole lot with it, but like 5 watts out on my, 5 watts into my amp is like 200 watts, I think, if that, maybe less, maybe like 150. So there are amplifiers that can do low drive, but again, like I was saying earlier, my amp really likes to be driven kind of hard, so it's not very clean when you drive it low, and it's also not efficient at all. So you just have to do a multi-amp setup. But I mean, if you're portable, like that's what I'm doing with this thing next. Not this weekend, but next weekend, I think we're planning on it. I'm going to bring the 7300, bring the Go Box, because those are the 2 stable radios to run. But I'm also going to bring this, and we're going to try to set this up and run it out in the field and see how it performs out in the field. So Yeah, I'll definitely have pictures and videos of that when that happens. But
Good.
yeah, that'll be an interesting one. But yeah, Hermes, that's ready to go to if you want to get into SDR. So
I got a question.
I've blabbed. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I said I've blabbed enough. Somebody else take it,
Okay.
unless anyone had questions.
Anyone have any advice on what I should, or suggestions of what I should put on this pie?
Is it just a Raspberry Pi? Is that all it is?
Yeah, it's a Raspberry Pi 3B. I was thinking of adding my MMDVM hat to it, but Mike was saying it probably won't fit. It is a pretty tight spot there for the pin header.
Why don't you build an AllStar node and then add DV switch to it so you could talk on anything anywhere that has any of those modes.
This is what's going to get hooked up to the BTEC eventually.
Careful, Mike.
What BTEC?
Careful, Mike. You're signing yourself up.
Yeah,
for
the
something.
one that you're gonna eventually buy and send me.
Yeah, that one.
Okay, well, let's get started then.
That's probably the easiest way
Yeah.
if you don't want to mess around with anything. Just set
Did
up
you
an
say
AllStar
the
node.
BTEC?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's gonna
The
use like
BTEC
a
or VTEC?
no
Oh.
Bravo
Boy.
Tango Echo Charlie Hotel.
Oh, I thought you were talking about VTEC, like when that VTEC kicks in. Yeah,
Like-
yeah.
Oh, that type of VTEC, like on a Honda.
That's a myth.
No.
Oh yeah. You know, Frank, you also could not use a Baofeng mobile. You could use the CDM if you have a spare one laying around. They're pretty easy to interface to.
I do not, unfortunately.
Yeah, they're kind of getting hard to find. I got two 6-meter ones laying here on the floor. I came across them for $40 on eBay, and I bought them so quick.
Nice.
6-meter mobiles. But yeah, they're kind of hard to find. They're like the best, in my opinion, them and the Max Tracks.
Hey, Mike, have you tried setting up an AllStar node on a Pi 02 yet?
I haven't. I was actually waiting for Connor to shut up so I could show that I've.
Damn. No, I'm
So
kidding.
I've got a Pi 02 here, and I bought this little plug-in adapter. So you can't really see, but let me see.
No, but I
You've
want
got
to see it.
this little adapter that plugs in micro USB, and it goes to like was it USB A or whatever, and then that will plug in to your Let me plug it in real quick. It plugs
Your
into
green screen is really killing it.
Yep, I know. And then it plugs into your port here, right? And so now you've got that. You've got your power cable here. You've got that, and then you can hook up, like, because this Pis don't have a normal connector, you can plug in. Now you can plug that into it. Let me see. There we go.
Okay.
You got dongles on dongles? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
No, it's not really a dongle. This is normal USB cable, so you can plug in your rim light or whatever you're going to use, your sound card. You've got power, but now it actually fits because obviously the Pi Zero doesn't have normal USB ports. It has micro USB ports, so it doesn't fit.
I have a question for you on that. Is that is it Pi 2W or the cheap one, the one that you still can get like on Amazon for $40?
I got these.
Or is that like the new 3rd gen?
I got these for $15. This is the Pi 20W, $15.
Okay, that's what I was talking about. Yeah,
It's the new one, the higher power.
Yeah, the one that's equivalent to the Pi 3.
I thought we were talking about the not like the one the generation before, like the one you have, Nick, for your pocket node.
That's the Pi Zero.
So that's the Pi Zero, and then you have the Pi 02.
This is okay.
Pi 02 is just upgraded, yeah.
Where are you getting those, Mike? I'm just curious.
I shared it to, maybe you're.
Yeah, I ordered 2 of them for $15 a piece.
3 of them.
Right.
They was on parallax.com.
I'm sure they're gone now.
They're gone.
They're long gone.
I got 3 for 15 each, and the shipping was 15, so it wasn't terrible. It's definitely better than playing scalping prices on Amazon or eBay, but. Right now, I think it's was it Pi Hut in UK? You can get 1 for 15, British pounds, and then you got to pay shipping and import. But it's like, might as well just get one on Amazon for $40 or $50 by that point. But they're starting to get in stock, so rpilocator.com. You can watch that, monitor that, sign up for alerts, and you can snag them when they're available. But I waited like 2 years for this thing, so I was happy to get it.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Remember in the middle of COVID that the Pi Zero 2 was unobtainable, and I found one on QRZ for $50, and that was unheard of because people were paying like $100 for it.
Oh yeah, I remember that. You were like a little kid in the candy store,
I was
man.
so
You were like,
pumped.
look what I got.
Yeah, I got all kinds of little goodies that came with it and stuff. It was fine, right? And so it was a great deal. The guy wanted to get rid of it. One thing you have to know is that if you program, if you program an image for some of the other Pis, like I was having a problem programming it and connecting like FreeStar to a Pi Zero, and then I couldn't use it on a Pi Zero and a Pi Zero 2 for whatever reason. So you have to program it and then use it on that Pi that you're setting it up for, because sometimes it won't work on either or for whatever reason.
Well, whatever I do, I think I'm going to take my the SD card that's in one of my current MMDVMs and just flash it for this, because one of them is like 256 gig micro SD card.
Yeah, but sometimes that doesn't work. So sometimes you have to just start from scratch. But if whatever you decide to do, it's not hard to it's not hard to program a FreeStar from scratch at all. But an AllStar node's a little bit more involved, but not really terrible. Depends on what you want to do with it.
Yeah, that's what it is what do I want to put on it?
Unless you have Mike walk you through it, because you'll 5 hours later, you'll be like doing all kinds of weird, crazy stuff. While you're at it, just do this and just do that and do this and just give me your password.
I think it was live on well, it never got published, but we did a Zoom meeting and it was recorded with Jason, from Ham Radio TV, and it was me and Greg and him and a couple other people were doing the build live with him. Well, it wasn't live, I say that. We were doing it on Zoom, and we were done like an hour and a half, and that was with him starting from scratch, like writing the SD card and then putting it in and having to do all the configuration. And I just told him what to do, and he was doing it, and we wrote a couple of custom scripts so he wanted to take it in his RV.
Yeah,
so
I remember that.
Go and be whatever, and we wrote like a custom DTMF tone so he could like key on his radio and then shut the Pi down, that was fun. So
yeah, and that was the USB $20 headset.
Yeah,
plug it in and go. That was kind of a cool little idea.
And Nick, 5 hours is nothing, especially if you sat around with K8MRD's live streams for 9+ hours doing this.
Well, I've spent some time doing it. It's fun, but it's also daunting sometimes when you got to work the next day.
So yeah, that's my next project.
Yeah, I was looking for that. I have that headset around here somewhere. I was looking for it, but I don't see that. Well, yeah, it's right here. This is that $20 Amazon special, which has the same chipset in that we use for the room lights.
Yep.
And I've got a video on my YouTube channel, which is nothing special, but demos me using it. And yeah, $20, and you push one of these buttons, and it gives you your push to talk, and it works pretty good.
Oh, that's the $20 headset?
Yeah, it's
I've never seen it.
Okay, well, here it is.
No, I've heard you talk. Yeah, I've heard
probably
you talk about it and stuff. I've
it's
just never
probably
seen it.
40 now.
Yeah, Mike, you running up the prices just like that one night I did that talk about the Shenzhou NI power path, what those the things that switch between DC power supply and battery. You guys remember when we were talking about that? And then like the next day it was like they were gone off of Amazon. That's when we had like actually 10 viewers.
Well,
and like they were just gone.
That's okay. Just remember, anything Adam recommends, it's gone the next day, guaranteed. K6ARK, it's just gone the next day.
Oh yeah, I get. I mean, that's every YouTuber, not even in the radio spectrum, but yeah, just because everybody goes, oh, I want that, and then they run out and buy it because their favorite YouTuber bought it. So
Yeah.
Don't mind the Bluetooth connect and disconnect sound in the background.
Well, it's not even that. I mean, yeah, Adam's somewhat serious of a YouTuber, but he doesn't even have to say anything. He's like, oh yeah, I use such and such a tent, because he's a big outdoorsy backpacking guy and SAR down in San Diego. And next day you go into REI, everything's gone. It's all sold out.
Yeah. All right, gentlemen. I've got that net coming up at 9 p.m. And so you're more than welcome to check into it if you want, Nick, on 55655.
I think I'm probably pretty close to shutting it down.
Yeah, I'm gonna ultimately after that I gotta hopscotch and do some other things. So
Right on, buddy.
And I have to pack up by 9:30, so
Sounds like everybody's out anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right on. What's the good last word, Dan?
Live long and prosper, my dudes.
Nice.
I was waiting for something like, knowing Dan, something like, I don't know, bring me another beer.
We'll leave it at that. 7-3 YouTube.
73.